Okay, so in this video we're going to use Python to automate the process of translating words in Google Translate, for example. So if I take the word in English earring and I want the Russian word serega, I can put it in Google Translate. I can also put a string of words in there and I get the Russian words here. And today we're going to look at how to write some code so I can use a Python library to do this automatically. A good question is why? Well, in this situation it isn't actually very much quicker, but when I have this Python code, later I can use it to create a text document in a way that will be very easy to import into Anki, and it will be much quicker than doing it via the internet. So let's see how you can do the same thing. So step number 1, install a library. Biblioteca. Okay, so we come down here in the Microsoft Windows to this little magnifying glass and put in CMD, and then we want the command line or commandная строка. I have to right click and choose administrator rights. Maybe you don't need to do that. Now we have our command line. We can write pip install, and this pip install installs any library in general, and we want Google trans. That's the name of the library. Press enter, and it collects and installs. The next step is we have a new Python file. We're not going to use the shell, we're going to use the file, and we need to import the library. So it has that name, googletrans, and that will bring in the library. And then the next thing we want to do is find the instrument in the library that we can use to translate words. And that instrument, so from that library googletrans, we need to import the instrument, and its name is translator. So let's run this and see if that works, if we've done everything correctly. So I'm going to press Ctrl S to save it. And now F5 to run it. So it's importing the library, and bang, it's successfully done it.
Everything's correct. If, however, I change this to the T, save and run, look, cannot import name translator from Google Trans. It's an error, because we have to have a capital T. Look.
It works. Cool. Okay, now we have our tool. I don't know why they usually recommend you change it, give it a variable. So that's our tool translator, which we imported it, and we'll just store it here. We'll call it translator with a little t, and without this brackets next to it. Okay, so we have here now our instrument stored as translator, and we want a result. So how do we get this result? Well, we take our instrument translator, and then we give it the command, the prikaz, to translate. Translate. Okay. So this translator here is that instrument, and then we're telling it to translate. What do we want to translate? We want to translate the word earring. Number one, we need to tell Python the languages that we want. So we want Russian. Okay, but in the Google Trans library, they don't use Russian, they don't use English, they use a short form, and that short form for Russian is RU, and that is the destination language. Язык направления, but they just use dest, not destination. Okay, and then the next thing is that we have to have the text of the result. So we're going to print the result dot text of the result. Now let's try again. Oh, it doesn't like that because I forgot the equals. So we have our word destination, dest, направление, equals Russian. Let's try again. No, it didn't like that. Let's try and put the source language, source is источник, is English. They use the short one. And they don't use the full word, they use src.
Oops, I forgot a comma. So we have earring, comma, src equals English, comma, destination is Russian, argue. One more time. No. Non-type object has no attribute group.
So let's go to the internet and find out what's happening. Okay, so I've put Python and googletrans, the library, and I'm going to paste that error and then search for an answer. Non-type object has no attribute group. Here we go, good. I was trying googletrans. 12 answers. Oh, install the alpha version like this. I need to install a different version.
Okay, into the command line we go again. CMD, right click, administrator. Maybe you need to do that, maybe not.
Now, it's usually a good idea to uninstall the library that you have. Uninstall googletrans. Bang. Yes, bang. Finished. Now we've uninstalled it. Let's install this Google
Trans 3.1, 0.1, blah, blah, blah. There we go, pasted that into there. Press enter. Successfully built and installed. Okay, let's try the program again and see what happens.
So my code is exactly the same. Everything is the same, but I have a new type of googletrans library. It's still import googletrans. Let's see. F5. Hooray! There we go. You can see there it's printed serga, which is the Russian for earring.
JA for Japanese. F5. Whoa, there it is. There it is in Japanese. So if you're not going to translate into Russian, or you want to translate into a different language, you can just go on the internet and do a search, go to Google Trans, and then source language codes, and you can, here it is, Pi Google Trans. You can read through the documents. This one here, you can see they're using Korean, that's KO, okay. And look for a list. Here it is, here's a list. A Afrikaans, let's do one more, let's find a really cool one. Let's translate into, oh, Hindi, HI, Hindi, cool, one more. Boof, boof, boof. How do you say earring in Hindi? F5, HI. Oh, that's cool, look at that.
Okay, so you can see now I have in my code my string, and it has boot, earring, fashion, glasses from the list. And nothing changes. I still want to have a result, and I use the translator instrument, and I use the order or function .translate to tell the translator to translate. And then here, instead of the word earring, then we want words. Yep. Each word to be translated. Okay. So unfortunately, because it's a string, we can't put it into here that easily. But
we can use a list. So my list is equal to my string dot splitlines. Cool. My string dot splitlines. Splitlines. Cool. Now I have my list. What happens if we put my list in here? Let's see. This is fun. What's going to happen? Nothing. Yeah, none is not iterable. So iterable is when you go through and go through and go through. So we need to do that now. For word in my list, look. And then we want, see how this is here? We need to move result to the same spot. Is that right? No, it's too far ahead. I think that's right. Yeah, that's right. It's at the same level. Okay. And then we want result there as well. So for word in my list, result is equal to
translator.translate word. Okay, so that will look at the first word there, and then it will put that word in there and translate. And then it will put the second word in there, and then the third word. And we should get a list of translations into Russian. Okay, so that is giving me the same words, boot, earring, fashion, glasses. It's not translating. So I looked on the internet and found an answer to my... I have Python, Google Trans doesn't translate, and I found this. And this person has the same problem. They have a phrase in Polish, and the result here, kto się was pozbyć, is the same. And so here is one answer. I believe this is because you are accessing too many requests. So you remember I asked for English to Russian, then English to Japanese, then English to request, prosper. So now it doesn't work. But he says here, pause for 1 hour, And look, hello, yes, I tried it out the next day and it's working good. Okay, so when you use this, don't use it with lots of different languages, request. So I'll have a break now and try later. Okay, so it's the next day. Let's press F5 and see if it works. No, let's get this type error non-type object. So there is an object that's not correct, and I think maybe because this line here is empty. So maybe it looks at that object that's empty and can't translate something that's empty. So let's put that there and see if that works. Hooray! There it is. So we've got the word for boot, botynik, earrings, cigar, fashion moda, and glasses очки. Wonderful. So there's some code down in the description below. It's almost correct, but I put in one little mistake in the code. So you need to find it before you copy and paste to run the code.